this. So we're putting together this celebration coming this Sunday on March 8th, which happens to be International Women's Day. And we're honoring Rachel Bina, Ellen Drell, Phyllis Curtis, Karen Bates, Jenny Bernstein, and Sally Schmidt, who have taken part in the environmental movement in this county. The theme this year is Women Taking the Lead to Save Our Planet. And certainly we have many Mendocino women who have stepped forward to do that. We thank the board for passing this resolution.
Well, we would like to thank you, Val, very much for your dedicated service in making sure that Women's History Month receives this attention every year and helping to coordinate the event that will be held in Ukiah. And we'll make a formal presentation of the proclamation at that time. One other comment I wanted to add to the statement here on leadership in Mendocino County is that we now have a majority of women as planning commissioners for the county, and this perhaps is a first in Mendocino County that the majority of planning commissioners are women. So that's just another example to add to the long list that was delineated here. So thank you very much for your efforts, and we will see you on Sunday.
Any other members of the public want to speak on this item? Okay, thank you. Move to agenda item 5A, legislative report, CEO sponsor.
No items for the CEO report, but
Okay.
that I would defer to Supervisor Smith if she would like to talk about the Washington, D.C. trip a little bit, or would you like to do that under supervisor's reports?
We'll do that on the supervisor's report,
Sure,
I think.
that's fine.
Okay.
Budget officer's report. No.
Excuse me, we'll be doing that as part of our presentation
Okay.
today.
And the chief CEO's report. None. Okay. Agenda item 5D, presentation adoption of proclamation recognizing Tsunami Awareness Week as March 22nd to 28, 2009, while increasing public awareness of Mendocino County's participation in the live code tsunami warning test to be held March 25th, 2009 from 10:15 to 10:45. Tom, are you did you want to make some comments on this, or?
Not at this time, thank you.
Does anybody in the public want to speak on this issue? Can we get a motion to adopt the proclamation?
I so move. Second.
In a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. Okay. We're right on time. Agenda item 9A1, this is a timed item at 9:30, or actually we are convening as the Air Quality Management District. JR, before I take a break here, do you realize your item that you're here concerned was approved on the consent calendar? The item that we're here about this morning, I'm sure, was approved on the consent calendar. We did. We approved it. It was on the consent calendar. It was item number 6 on our consent calendar. We approved it unanimously.
Oh, it's already been done?
Yes.
Board about it?
Sure. Please come forward.
My name is J.R. Rose. I'm here in Ukiah, and I want to thank the board and their staff for putting through this resolution to help the seniors in Mendocino County, and also will help the seniors throughout the state. And I hope that the federal government, that people that get a cost of living increase should not be penalized just because they get this increase. And I will take this on into the other counties and also into the state, and maybe we get a deal through into the federal government. But I do want to thank you all for your time and your effort, and I especially thank Mr. Colfax there for his effort on it. And I really do appreciate this. Thank you very, very much.
For members of the public that don't understand, this is adoption of resolution related to seniors entitlement program benefits, eligibility issues, and cost of living adjustments, and authorize the Board of Supervisors to advocate for increased protections for Mendocino County's most vulnerable population, our senior citizens. Thank you. Okay, we will convene as the Air Quality Management District. Agenda item 9A1, approval of proposed grant project for funding from the district's motor vehicle program fund and authorization for the appropriation of funds from the district's motor vehicle fund balance to cover the cost of the proposed projects. We have our Air Quality Management District Director here, or Manager here. Go ahead.
Good morning, members of the board. I'm Chris Brown. I'm the Air Pollution Control Officer. What you have before you, it's a fairly long staff report. I'm not going to go through it line by line. I put some additional information in this year because we have a couple of new board members, and I thought it would be a good idea to sort of refresh everybody about the program. The 2766 funding, as we call it, that's the assembly bill that initially established it. Was part of the California Clean Air Act back in 1990. It authorized air districts to charge a small fee on motor vehicle registration, which can be used to support the required monitoring programs that the air district has to do. Otherwise, there's no other source of funding for that work. It's also for our planning program, and any additional funds that are left over are to be given away as grants to, in the words of the legislation, reduce the impact of the automobile. At this time, the district has $100,000 available in this account. We are keeping an extra $100,000 in reserve, increasing our reserves above the normal level because of the current economic situation. And I envision coming back to the board around the end of the year once we know how our funding situation is shaped up, and releasing the remainder of the funds to projects. At this time, you know, fiscally, we're looking pretty good. I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, however, so we're going to be a little cautious with the funds that we have. The list of projects is in Table 1. That has the amount of funding that was requested from each entity. We only do funding in this program for governmental agencies or a private group that's partnered with a government agency. That table lists the amount requested, the amount that staff is recommending for round 1, and the amount staff is recommending for round 2, should that be approved. And the round 2 funding, we would come back to the board most likely with a consent item to transfer the funds out of the fund balance at a later time in the year. A couple of notes on the projects. There's a very diverse selection of projects. I was very glad to see MTA put in a request for a hybrid bus. They've actually put in a request to us 3 times for a hybrid bus, and we've never been able to get the state to approve it through the Carl Moyer program, so we're doing it through this program, which has a little more flexibility. That bus at this point would be on the Willits-Laytonville route. However, Bruce at MTA says it could go on any route in the county. It's just a matter of where they think it's going to work best. There's also a number of walkways, safe routes to school type projects, which our funding would be matching other funds through DOT. And what we're proposing for DOT is basically to give them the amount for the Great Sesson project, which was $39,000. And they could use that on any one of the projects that's approved. We did not recommend funding for Branscombe Road because that's already been done, and there was a prior air district grant on that project, but DOT wasn't able to proceed in time, and so the funds were returned to us. A long story, but there's also a rather interesting project which came from your Ag Commissioner, which was removing Goat's Head, which is a